Friday. We jumped all around. We just talked about whatever we really want to talk about. It's a podcast, man.
Let's do one thing before we go.
Yeah.
We always do some segments and stuff. I want to do a Mount Rushmore today, real quick. All right. And this is the reason I want to do this one is that I want to bring it up next week with some of the guys, and you can probably help on this one a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to do. It's gonna be a little tough. The point guards of UNC. All right, you ready?
That's tough.
That is tough. That's why I said it. So I'm gonna bring up a list if I can here. Let's try to get up a new list here. We'll start naming names. Ed Cota, Phil Ford.
Phil Ford's on mine.
Ty Lawson. Derek Phelps. Jimmy Black. King Rice. And then we move up into some ages now. Marcus Page. Well, is he a shooting guard?
No, it's a point guard.
We'll do point guard on him.
Marcus Page was a point guard. Joel Berry was a point guard. You already have Ty Lawson. Raymond Felton was a point guard. You've got three there that off the top of my head are like the recent national champions in Felton,
Kendall
Berry,
Marshall,
Lawson, Kendall Marshall.
Anybody else? It seems like we're missing somebody that's played recently. I feel like I'm missing someone. And Barry might have been the one I was thinking
Cole
about
Anthony.
that were. Well, put him on there.
He's on there.
You think of anybody else real quick?
No,
McInnes. Forgot about him. Jeff McInnes. And Kenny Smith. Forgot about Kenny. That was the one. That's who I was thinking.
Well, I can go ahead and tell you.
All right, so Hunter, let's go. I'm gonna pull these on the screen so our folks can see who we're talking about here. That's what I wanted. So make sure we get this for the folks online that are watching. Folks, if you're listening to the podcast, feel free to tune into us on Facebook. We broadcast from the KTC Broadcasting Facebook page. The replay is always up on there after. Also, as well, we'll post the replay on YouTube if you want to watch that. You're listening, you're like, what are they talking about? Well, this is a way to keep up and figure out exactly what we're talking about here. So if you're watching online, I'm going to move my people over just a little bit. Well, gosh, Lee, not that much. I'm just trying to mess this up. All right, if you're watching online, you can see our main list of Carolina Tar Heel point guards. So Mount Rushmore consists of 4. So we got to narrow it down to 4. Let's do it by elimination first. To get rid of people that you're going to say they're not in my top 4.
No Marcus Page, no Joel Berry.
Okay.
I know it's crazy because Joel won a national championship, but
We'll put them to the bottom. Folks watching online, you'll be able to keep up with exactly who I'm putting where.
No Cole.
Okay. We're down to 9. Coda, Ford, Lawson, Phelps, Jimmy Black, King Rice, Felton, Marshall, Kenny Smith, and McInnes. I'll take 2 off.
Okay.
I'm going to take Jimmy Black and Derek Phelps.
Okay.
Led their teams to national championships, like you said Barry did, but they were not the best player
Right.
on the team.
Joel Berry could have probably been the best
Was
player
he?
on that team, though. I sure as hell
Who
wasn't.
else was on the team?
It was Joel Berry. It was Cam Johnson. It was it was Theo Pinson. Who else was on that team? Because Cam came the year after, so it was Theo, Joel, or was Cam there that year? Doesn't matter.
Justin Jackson.
Justin Jackson was on that
Was
team.
he the best? Was he the best player on that team then? Probably.
Was it Luke May?
Shit. Justin Jackson.
Shit.
Justin Jackson.
Okay. I could argue you can take Kendall Marshall off of that. That he was. I could also argue though that if he doesn't break his arm, we go to the national championship that year.
Same thing for Derek Phelps. He got hurt one year. Carolina didn't make a run in the tournament. He got hurt in the ACC tournament. That was the year Randolph Childress. Well, every year Randolph Childress we ever played against him smoked Carolina. He was outstanding. He was the Carolina killer.
Kendall Marshall's part of their coaching staff too.
Is
if I'm
he?
not mistaken.
What I would say about Marshall is he's one of the best passers Carolina's had. For the folks for the folks that saw Marshall play and thought he was the best passer we've ever had, you obviously didn't see and don't remember Ed Cota. Cota may be the best passing point guard I may have ever seen at any level. I can't describe how outstanding his point guard is. And Hunter, he dribbled high, like head high. Like he was not dribbling
low.
He wasn't patting it like pat low and stuff, trying to shake people with his quickness. He was. You could call him like a slow assassin or something slow to where it was just methodically every dribble meant something for some reason. I don't know why we just got kicked off there. I guess we lost some signal there for you folks. Watch online. We'll be back in just a moment as soon as I guess the internet catches back up. Let me get rid of some of the things that take away some of my stuff. I know we're recording online, so we'll get it popped back up. All right, Hunter. I guess it's going to come back.
Well, maybe.
It says it's still. There we go. Back to connection.
There we go.
For you folks watching online, we took a small connection break, it looks like, for a second. There we go, back on. Thanks for staying connected with us for just a few moments. Sorry about that. Don't even know why or how, or we didn't do anything.
It just does that randomly.
So I was talking about Ed Cota, how great a passer he was. So we've got down Cota, Ford, Lawson, Rice, Felton, Smith, and McInnes. I will take King Rice off the list. Leaving us, did I do that right?
You took off
to Lawson. I was like, that looked funny.
To me, I think now
we're down to 6.
We've eliminated enough to where we could go ahead and say, I think definitively, the top 3 stay.
Is there anyone in that 6 that you don't think belong? And I'm going to go through them real quick. Ed Cota, Phil Ford, Ty Lawson, Raymond Felton, Kenny Smith, and Jeff McInnes. Now, Hunter, looking at that list, my 4 is on it. I'm going to give you my 4, and then I'm going to see if you think...
My 4 is probably on it as well.
I'm going to see if you think it's different, okay?
Go ahead and give your 4.
So my 4... Now, this is not strictly North Carolina, as in college achievements. This is as far as... Mount Rushmore needs the 4 most popular, greatest Tar Heel point guards.
Yeah.
So if I'm going by that measure, the way I measure them is those 4 right there. If you're looking at home, I've got Ed Cota, Phil Ford, Ty Lawson, Kenny Smith in no particular order. And here's the reason I have for each one of them. Ed Cota is the best passer I may have ever seen. Phil Ford was the all-time leader in assists and scoring, I think, when he left North Carolina. Ty Lawson, I think, is the best all-around point guard they've ever had. I didn't see Phil Ford play. If I imagine what Phil Ford played like, it would be Ty Lawson. He was faster than everybody out there.
Yeah.
He could dribble the ball better than about everybody. And what Lawson did best at 5'11", when he would take it to the basket.
At the rim.
Thank you. Ty Lawson would take contact and finish at the rim better than almost any point guard I've seen in a long time.
He was strong at his size.
Now, he had an alcohol problem in the NBA. He was an alcoholic. And so he had some issues. Kenny Smith, obviously, has done a ton for basketball just based on TNT. Now, Kenny Smith is also a really good basketball player. Won a world championship with the Houston Rockets. Competed in slam dunk contests and other stuff. So if I'm looking at that, personally, myself, is Cota, Ford, Lawson, Smith, I would hear arguments. If I was going to take one of them off, I would hear arguments for Kenny Smith. But Ford, Lawson, and Cota, I don't think I can take off.
Mine would have been argument if it's not Kenny Smith, Felton. Felton is a national champion.
Okay.
And he was probably the best player on that national championship team because I know Sean May was good, but...
The best player on that team.
Don't say it.
What?
Whatever.
The best player on that team, we all know, but Tar Heel fans don't like him.
I know, we don't like him.
Rashad McCants. By far the best player on that team. He was nasty. And people don't like him because he snitched on Carolina in their fake classes.
He's just mad. He's just mad because his NBA career didn't pan out.
He's right. I mean, you're right about that.
He's just mad.
I think he was one of those players that, like, he wanted the basketball, and I don't know. He's not passing.
No.
But yeah. Personally, watching that championship,
that 4 is fine with me.
I was in college when that championship happened, and personally watching that one, McCants was, to me, just just nasty. And I think not only was he my favorite, I thought he actually won that championship himself. Then when he took his jersey off, people got mad about that too. And I'm just like, y'all gonna get mad at him about anything. It don't even. It don't even matter. But all right, so you're saying maybe
I'm fine
Felton,
with that.
But you're fine with Kenny?
I'm fine with the 4. I'm fine with the 4 that's up there.
My biggest thing with Felton is that I don't think he ever got in shape enough to be as good as he could have been.
Yeah, he was always played.
He was never in shape, and he could have been a little bit better quicker.
The one that I had, the 2 though that I watched that I had the most fun watching. Obviously, I'm younger, but it was Ty Lawson easily, who was 1. And then 2 was Kendall Marshall. And I promise you, I will say this until I go down. If he does not break his arm in the regular season, we make a deeper run in the tournament. Because that team was too talented not to make that run.
Listen, the Tar Heels, they've had, and people talk about World Series and national championships and Super Bowls and which teams was better. Some of the Tar Heels' best teams never won the championship. The 94 to 98 Tar Heels are probably the best Tar Heel teams ever, and they didn't win anything.
Arguably the best Duke team ever didn't even make it.
That's 100% true. And then the Patriots didn't win the Super Bowl. The Cardinals had 4 straight years of 100 wins and didn't win a championship, and then won with 83 wins.
Yeah.
83. Hunter, my dad and I sat in Game 6 in St. Louis and looked at each other and said, we just won the damn World Series with the worst team we've had in 6 or 7 years. They did. The first one they won, because the year before they lost to Boston, and I thought that was I thought they were cheated. That was close to my beginning of realizing how fixed sports was. Red Sox came back from 3 games down and beat the Yankees.
Right.
Then they played the Cardinals in the next series, and like I said, that might have been the best team we ever had. That lineup was stacked, and then we get swept. Like, come on. This team gets swept? I don't think so. And then the next year, that team couldn't even hold the candle, and they won the championship. All right, so that's it for our
Friday show.
Our Friday show, and our main thing there to end the show is our North Carolina Tar Heel Mount Rushmore of point guards is Ed Cota, Phil Ford, Ty Lawson, and Kenny Smith, with honorable mentions to Raymond Felton, Kendall Marshall, and maybe Jeff McInnes. The greatest thing Jeff McInnes ever accomplished, Hunter, do you know?
Nope.
You don't? He slept with Phil Ford's wife.
There you go.
That's what the thing was. Jeff McInnes is welcome at Carolina as much as Rashad McCants is. Let me put it that way, Hunter. One kid asked Ford about it at camp one time, and we all turned around and walked away.
Oh, man.
we don't want none of that conversation.
None of that.
All right, Hunter. Thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for joining us, everybody.